Welcome back. In this task, we will take the first steps towards creating our app. In this task, we will see how to add a map to an app. I'll give you the code to follow along. Please make a note of the URL on the screen. This is the URL of the RStudio Cloud project that contains the code for this task. Let me switch views so we get to workspace back. And we will switch to RStudio Cloud. Let me paste the URL of the project here. And we'll let RStudio Cloud create a copy for us. We'll ask it to create a permanent copy. This is exactly like we did before in the first guided project. And the name of the project is Basic Web App with Map. So we will give it some time. So it's done. Now let's open this Files tab. And then here we have this app.r file in the Cloud Project Basic Web App folder. Let's click on it. And we have the code here. Let me give some space here. We have some description about what the app does. Then we have these library function calls to tell R that we need the following packages. This time we also need the leaflet package to draw the map. And then we have the UI definition. Again, we have the fluid page function, and to it pass the argument. This time we're saying leaflet output because we want a map. So instead of plot output, we have leaflet output, and we have an identifier, and we assign the return value from fluid page to UI. The function that works in tandem with leaflet output is render leaflet. And we'll come to that shortly. Next, we have the server function. Like before, it has two arguments, input and output. And then here we have the code to create the map. Here we assign the return value from the render leaflet function to the output using the named element mymap, and this mymap corresponds to this mymap. That's how we connect leaflet output to render leaflet. Now let's look at the render leaflet function. So we have this open parenthesis, and then we have these curly braces within which we have the code to create the map. We have two instructions. The first instruction is an invocation of the leaflet function from the leaflet package, and all it does is it creates a map for us, and we save the return value from the leaflet function in this variable lfmap. Next, we add tiles to the map we created, and we use the add tiles function. To the add tiles function, we give the argument lfmap, this one, the one we created, and we store the return value in lfmap again. So we override the lfmap variable. And all we're doing here is we're saying create a map and then add tiles to the map. What do we mean by tiles here? If you've ever used Google Maps on a slow internet connection, you will have noticed that the map renders in square blocks. Those are the tiles. That's how maps are typically rendered. And what we're doing here is we're telling it to give it the default tiles. Add the default tiles to a map. Next, we have the Shiny app call, and to it we pass the arguments, named arguments UI and server. This UI and this server. So that makes up our basic app. Now let's run this app. and we will run in the viewer. So let me do run in viewer pane, and then I'll click on run app, and it brings up this map in the viewer pane. And notice it's just a world map. We got the default map. We didn't tell Leaflet what kind of map we wanted. We didn't tell it any particular location. So it just gave us the default map, which is the world map. So in this task, we created an app with a default map. In the next task, we will add markers to our map. So I'll see you in a short while.